We're back on day 2. Got the bog, which I'm not sure doesn't look the best. Not that I can remember what it's meant to look like. It's a bit hard up there, but we'll try it out. Bugger it. Mixing should help it. Again, it's dated 06, so it's only 9 years old, sitting on the shelf waiting. God, I hope it's alright. Look, I think it'll be alright. Otherwise, we'll learn for next time. Oh, the lid, without the lid's broken. Alrighty, here goes. Now the bog, it goes really hard, see. You want to just get slightly proud, slightly above the hole, not a heap though, and think that you'll touch it up with sandpaper, because it really does take a fair bit of effort to sand it down. You can trim it a bit before it dries all the way. That's easier. Oh, this is much better now. Going on. Now, I'm probably doing this wrong because I've only ever done this a tiny little bit on the other dado. But the only way to learn this shit is just to do it. And that's what we're doing. Doing it! Yeah! These bits are going to come up nice. Very easy to shape. Nice flat surfaces. Right on the corner, they're real pains in the asses. It's looking good. Oh, that spider. I saw that yesterday. We've sanded it down, rebogged it, and then sanded this side again. So skip forward a little bit, but we're going to do a little sanding on the other side. Just done this side. Now I'm going to spray putty it, and while that's drying, we'll work on the other side. Let's just have a slide along look here. You know it's pretty much ready if you can run your hands over it and it feels smooth. If you feel the rest of the car, smooth, no bumps. Once you've sanded, it should be like that too. There is a few bumps here, but see one just there. I'm not too terribly worried about it. Main thing is it's going to seal all those holes and stop a lot of rust occurring in the future. But yeah, pretty good. Drop the sheet down here in the doors, which seals that up from getting paint on it really well. And I'll use some, I don't have any newspaper, but I've got some old A3 paper, and I'll just finish this bit here and down there. And have a look at the other side. This has had a really light sand, but two goes with the bog. Car dog. got the temperature gauge there in the sun. You can see it's 40 degrees sitting on top, so it's a bit too hot to paint. So we'll push him back in the shade in a minute. Seal this up. Wax and grease remover it. And then bam! Okie doke. Now the final stage before we get some spray putty on. Paint, wax and grease remover. Need one cloth to put it on, one cloth to take it off. Shouldn't let it dry on. You shouldn't use a dirty rag to do that either. You'd be better off to pour it out. This is all we need to do. Gets any grease, oil off your fingers even. That's why I've got the glove on. Easy peasy. Probably don't want to get it on your good paint too much. Of course there's no real good paint on this at the moment, so I'm being very liberal. Got paint warming up, spray putty, warming up in the sun a little. You don't want to leave it in the sun, but pretty cold where it's been. You can see that's flashed off. Still got a little bit to go there, dry. You can see where I pulled that paint off. Yep, a few seconds more. Tuck the dado under the carport. The temperature's dropped to 24 degrees, which is perfect for painting. You don't want it to be over 30, I don't think. So we will shake this and get started. See what happens. Again, you can use this with a spray gun on a compressor, but if you're doing little jobs or you don't have the gear, I think spray cans can a lot more expensive to buy stuff in the spray can, but it'll do the job. Again, you wouldn't have to use the spray putty. You could just use a primer straight over the top, sand that down, and let it dry, and then let it paint over the top. What does this say? Must be absolutely clean, mask adjacent areas, bare metal surfaces, we don't have that, scratches and minor dents, primer undercoat, then use spray putty. Use primer undercoat. That's just to give it a bit of build. Rust areas. Cool. Pretty boring. Best applied in temperatures between 15 to 30 degrees on a clear day. I wonder if the primer is meant to go on first. So we're switching to primer surfacer. It does say to use a primer first, so it's nearly the same stuff, I think. But we'll spray like 3 coats of this, and that might even do the job. And if there's still some little marks there, we'll go over it with the spray putty. I mean, this stuff, it's 3 light full coats, 5 minutes in between the coats, and then an hour to let it set before you can give it a sand. Then you sand it, then we can spray putty it, and then we sand it again. Lots of sanding. A bit thicker this time. You can see down the bottom where it meets the sill. I could have done a lot more work, but my thinking is you're not really going to see it, and you can see these little, you can really see the marks that aren't filled properly. Oh, nearly close to a run there. Coat 2. You can see here, this is something we didn't do, but some of the paint's chipped off there, and see, I didn't sand it, and you can really see where it was. I mean, if you want a really good job, it has to be perfect. You run your hands over it, you shouldn't feel a bump, it should be dead smooth. If you see any paint marks like that, you have to feather them out with some sandpaper. I did actually do a lot of feathering on this, on the sill line, and you can really tell that's really good. Keep that nice line there, but hopefully the spray putty will fix these bits and pieces up, because it is pretty bad there. Alright, coat number 3. And there we have it, 3 coats. I won't bore you with sanding the whole car, but you can see this bit, I'll go like in an X one way, then we go back in the other way, and that feathers it out. So there's no distinction, no bumps. One surface runs into another surface. And you can really feel it. Still a bit bumpy there, but way better. This is 120 grit sandpaper, which we use to sand the bog down. Now I think I may have sprayed this side with spray putty first instead of that surface primer. I'm pretty sure I did. I won't know until I go back on the videos, but it's had a dry now, so this is what it looks like. That's bad there, that needs rebog. There's a few little spots that need it, but overall, I mean, it's a lot better than it was. You can really see these bits that didn't get sanded properly. We'll have a look at the other side, which we gave a light sand with 240 grit sandpaper and then put some spray putty over the top. So it's both ready for sand now. We will get to it. Right, sanded down, dusted, grease removed. We're going to do one more primer surfacer over this side. That's been primer surfaced, putty sprayed, and just one more primer surface because there's a tiny few bits of bare metal. And this side, I believe, until we review the video, we've spray puttied and spray puttied again. So we're going to primer surface that, and then we're going to go up a grid of sandpaper to 300 or 400, whatever we've got, and give that a sand, and then it can be ready for top coat. Now you can see, hopefully you can see, there is a lot of little imperfections here, and it shows you really have to have your base spot on. The Datto's pretty rough, and I don't know if it's going to survive another winter, so I'm not terribly worried about it at this stage. I'm pretty sure, well, hopefully no more rust is going to come through there on those sills on either side, but my thinking is that it will, because there's rust all up underneath there. But we put all that fish oil in there and we sealed up all the holes, so without moisture getting in there it might be okay. But yeah, here's hoping. Let's primer surface it. Yes! Primed. Just needs to dry for an hour. We'll sand it back with some nice 300, 400 sandpaper, and then we'll paint it. What colour? Matte black, like the rest of it is? Probably a good idea. The matte black will also help not show up those imperfections. Looks pretty good. Looks a lot better than it did. And we got to play and learn something. Yes, indeed. Awesome. I'm not sure what the time is. The sun's out, but it is low. Don't know if we're going to get to the... We should be able to give this an hour and then should be able to sand it ready to be painted. Probably need to go get some paint. Awesome.